Hey everybody, welcome to episode 69 of the All JuveCast, and coming off the 2-2 draw against the almighty Sassuolo at home nonetheless. But I've got a guest with me, a special guest, Roman from Juve Therapy. Roman, are you ready for this episode here?
Well, physically, yeah. Mentally, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Let's get into this match. So it's tough, obviously, getting a draw here. Sassuolo comes into our house. We got their keepers from their Primavera. Starting lineup. What are your thoughts on our lineup?
Well, no matter the lineup, every player by player, we should beat that team. No matter. We played with Gigi Buffon. Well, before this game, of course, everything was okay, right? So for me, it's like, okay, we have Gigi Buffon starting. Fine, no problem. Alexander starting, fine, no problem. Even though he's just back from injury, straight into the lineup, just because we don't have any other left back. I've talked about it a lot on my vlog as well. We lack the backup left back, so he will start again. He started today as well. So Bonucci and De Ligt as well started. Full set of our top defenders there, and Quadrado as well. Yeah. And then for the rest of the team, well, I gotta say it was okay. Just because we were thinking it was minors Sassuolo, nothing dangerous, nothing spectacular, and especially because we're coming after this tough game against Atletico. Bernardeschi didn't play that game, only like 10 or 15 minutes, so he obviously should have started this one. Okay, fine. Chan cried and sulked his way into the team. He started. And Bentancur, of course, started. And there's not a lack of... it was just because of lack of options. We had Khedira injured. That's it. We can, of course, in hindsight, say that Emre Can should never play, Matuidi should have started. But then again, I mean, it's Sassuolo, guys. It should have been enough. But the mentality was wrong. But the lineups-wise, Dybala on the bench, okay. Again, I say rotation. That's fine. Higuain and Ronaldo on paper should score one each, minimum. They did.
Yeah, I have to agree with that on the lineup. I mean, it's Sassuolo. Let's get serious. Everybody in hindsight, you touched on it, Dybala, it's just a rotational thing. We should have handled Sassuolo. It's frustrating. Bentancur's actually been putting in great performances, so I was more than happy to see him in there. It was good to see Sandro back, and honestly, yeah, you're playing against Sassuolo. Let's get him those minutes. Let's get him kind of back into the run of things. But yeah, then when we get to this match, wow, it was just it was ugly. It was just
from the
ugly.
first minute, it looked like it was always gonna be tough, difficult, and it will be a struggle. We saw it straight away.
Yeah, it was crazy. The attitude, the body language on multiple players, just very, very poor, and it was so uninspiring. And I mean, to think that I got up at 3:30 in the morning for this crap, just drives me nuts. But it was bad. It was really, really bad. And you touched on Emre Can, sulking and whatnot, and I honestly think he offers much more than Khedira if Khedira's going to be in the lineup. But today he was just piss poor. Emre Can was so bad. A lot of fans attacking him after this, and you know what? The loss is not on solely him. There was many, many poor performances, and honestly, we just have so much. There's so much around this club, and obviously we can talk about the first goal Sassuolo scored. Obviously, the chip over Buffon. He turns and he turns and makes it look like he's gonna strike that thing. Gigi got caught. I don't know. It looks bad watching it, but I mean, what do you do? That could have happened to any keeper, really. The second one was terrible. The second was just he's got to stop that. The conditions are poor. It doesn't really matter. That was 100% savable and 100% on GG. It's got to be better. For us, man, where do we start? Like, Bernardeschi is just not... It's beyond an experimental thing right now. This is not continuing to experiment with him as trequartista. He is not a trequartista. Bottom line, we're past the experimenting. Like, it's just, that's it. If you want to try him in one of the midfield three, I'm okay with that. If we play in a 4-3-3 with him out on the wing, I'm okay with that. This trequartista thing, it's over. Like, pack it up, put it in a box, throw it away, burn it, do whatever, but it's done for me. I can't see it anymore. Cristiano Ronaldo, this just blows me away. We didn't become enjoyable to watch in this one until Paulo Dybala hit the friggin' pitch. He hit the pitch. He had the right attitude. He picked the other guys up. He was linking the play. And, the other thing that pissed me off is we're going to sub out Higuain, who was very much involved while everybody else was struggling through things. You need a goal. You're chasing a goal. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why you would sub him off. Instead, it just... Okay, whatever. We'll get past that. We make our way into this thing. Dybala gets a shot blocked by Cristiano Ronaldo.
And he wasn't offside, by the way.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. Like, it couldn't have been anybody else. It had to be him just to carry on with these woes here. He scores a PK. I don't care. He should be scoring a PK at 30 million a season. But everything else that we've been getting so far is driving me absolutely crazy with Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm sick.
The thing is with Cristiano, I gotta say, it's a lot of Cristiano Ronaldo fans on Twitter, especially, are very good at defending him with the words like it's the same thing all over and again. Every single game, he doesn't receive enough service. The service isn't good enough. The players around him aren't good enough. If he would have played for Liverpool, he would have scored 30 goals by now, and crap like that. First of all, I had a little chat with some Twitter guys. I don't know if he's even a Cristiano Ronaldo fan, but I'm seriously considering that he is declining, plain and simple, just as a player. Personal mistakes, simple individual mistakes, like first touch. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not because of Khedira is playing next to you. It's not because Bernardeschi is a trequartista.
Exactly.
It's because your touch is poor. Yeah. Plain and simple. When you get the ball, when you misplace your pass or had not in goal but just outside, it's your fault. Nobody else's. You can blame on the cross. You can blame on the defender that blocks you or whatever. But at the end of the day, you are the GOAT. So you should do better. Yeah. And if you're not able to do better, then we need to lower our expectations and just admit it that he's just average. He's human. But then you have these fans that tell you that he is the GOAT. He will do great if you give him quality players around him. Look what he does for Portugal. It was against Luxembourg and against Lithuania. Yeah. Minor teams, and even then he scored only one against Luxembourg, looked healthy, mind you. It's crazy. And now he's back and sulking and not 100%. Is it his knee? I personally don't believe it. And if it is a knee, it's just plain stupid by the club, by the management, to let him play. Yeah. For the sake of him playing. Well, and this might cost us points. Just like it did today.
This is it. It's been crazy because, Sarri comes out, says he's been nursing some nagging injury. Ronaldo comes out, says he's just fine. He goes to international duty. He scores goals, granted against weak opposition. He comes back. Oh, he doesn't start right away because he's injured. What the hell is going on? It's just this back and forth merry-go-round. But honestly, what it comes down to is just I pointed out Emery Chan earlier is everybody wanted to attack him and whatnot, and yeah, he was piss poor. The thing is, we have bigger problems. Don't let one guy's performance hide the bigger issues. The bigger issues, like the fact that we continue, and I made the example of Bernardeschi, to reward guys in positions that either don't work or performances that are just poor, and they keep going, and we keep going at it instead of making the changes we need to necessary to move forward and progress. Our play hasn't progressed for quite some time. We've actually gone backwards, and it's crazy, and if you would take the stats all these fanboys want to go on, if I watched the last month of Cristiano Ronaldo to play, and then you gave me those stats, I would say that's not the same friggin' guy. I'd say there's no way in hell this is that player, because he looks that way. His attitude, he looked so disinterested today. I've never seen that in his time with us. Like, he honestly, it looked like he could care less, and that's brutal. We invested a lot of money, and yeah, he may be on the decline, but you know what? Then Sarri's got to get the balls to make the right calls, because if he can't cut it against Sassuolo, I'm sorry, but what the hell are you going to do for us?
Let's turn it around a bit. Let's say, like you say, that let's just not focus on one player. Let's look at the bigger picture. Like we have problems throughout the whole team, like the way we play, the lack of identity and whatnot. The thing is that we're starting it looks to me like Sarri has decided to start with Miralem Pjanic, Sami Khedira, and Blaise Matuidi like his first setup. That's how it looks to me. To defend that is very, very hard, because two of these guys are obviously not suited for Sarri ball.
Yeah.
Obvious. However, who can you put instead of them? That's the issue. We have nobody else. We have Bentancur, who is promising young lad. My man, I love him to death, but is he ready for that responsibility? Is he ready to start away against Barcelona? Let's say if we face them. Is he ready for that? I don't think so. But we play with Matuidi and Khedira. Who do we have? We have absolutely nobody. So that's why I'm kind of defending the decision. But they're clearly not good enough players. Going forward as well, we have Bernardeschi starting. The reason he's starting is that because we were expecting Aaron Ramsey to get back to full fitness and killing it. But he has been only flashes, and fitness levels are not that good yet, I think. And also Douglas Costa came out firing at the start of the season. Was probably the best player at the start of the season. But then he got injured, and then it just broke down. And we needed to change the formation from 4-3-3 to 4-3-1-2. Yeah. So it's been just a lot of changes, and we're trying to find the final spot. But that's tough for Bernardeschi. He's as you say. I'm totally agreeing. He's not a trequartista. He's just not good enough, plain and simple. Aaron Ramsey should be there instead, but is he good enough? Is his fitness levels 100%? No, they're not. So we're missing that as well. Well, up front, I gotta say, if it were up to me, I'd bench Cristiano. Really. I'd start with Paulo Dybala and Higuain. At least those guys, well, they run. At least these guys are active.
Yeah.
Cristiano only cares about Cristiano. I'm sorry to say it, but it looks to me like it. I will eat my words come February or March when he starts banging in goals in the Champions League, for sure. But right now, it makes my life so much easier if we would start those two.
And you're absolutely right when you were talking about Ronaldo, and you watch him on the field, and what bothers me is he got a couple free headers today that he made a mess of, and
you expect prime Cristiano to score these.
Exactly. And for him to sulk, mope, look at somebody when he makes a mistake and throw his arms up and get pissy, it's like, man, you make a lot of money. You're supposed to be an elite finisher. You're not doing your part. So it's like when you're that elite and you're in GOAT status, he got some open looks. And throughout the course of this year, especially early on in the year, he was missing sitters left, right, and center for us. And it just hasn't been to the quality that he needs to get to for the amount of money that he's making. It has to be better. And yeah, I'm totally okay with going with Higuain and Dybala as our number one setup, because right now they're playing like it, and Cristiano is like lagging behind, and it's not even close for the past month. Like, it's not even close. If we're, if the fanboys want to play that game, it's bullshit, because it's just, you can't argue otherwise. And
let's say you're a defender, right? Let's say you're a defender in the Serie A or in the Champions League. You're not afraid of Cristiano anymore.
yeah,
You think it's just okay. It's okay. Come at me, bro. I'm not scared of you. I know how to tackle you. I know how to take you off. He is not the threat anymore. And so people are not afraid of us. That's the issue. When he's playing, it's okay. Because, I mean, just today, prime example was like, he is on the left like he always is, cuts inside like he always does. 2 defenders. It would have been enough with 1, to be quite honest. It couldn't get past it. And that's it. And the whole thing stops. And for me, that's the issue. He gets paid a lot of money to do what he does. But guys like Dybala, guys like Higuain, paid 1/3 of that amount and doing so much better.
Yeah, it's frustrating times, and you touched on it earlier as well. It's like he's looking around and he's sulking and he's moping and he's throwing his arms up. But you watch, everything looks like a struggle, just trying to settle a ball, just trying to make a touch inside. Like, it's just, and he just looks so predictable too. It's like everything is so slow with him now. Like, he's just, if he's not injured, I'd be surprised, to be honest, with how poor he is to watch compared to just last year. Last year, I think maybe there was not even a handful of games where I thought, wow, Ronaldo actually played bad. This year, it's like, oh, you're opposite. You're trying to think of when he had, a great match.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. It's the total reverse effect this year. But, you talked about the midfield, and it seems that Sarri's prime setup is Matuidi, Pjanic, Khedira, and the part that gets me, it's tough to even think about, is earlier on in the year we expected him to go with that setup, because we thought, okay, he's gonna let the core guys that have been together, just to keep that kind of familiarity with the club and ease through. We had a little tricky schedule to start the season, but they actually played great. Like, even the guys that we had like Matuidi looked great, Khedira looked great, and this actually went on for quite some time. They actually looked like, holy shit, maybe it was just our system, our style. Now we've gone through this lull, and everybody is again all over the players, and I get it. And Khedira, for me, he's at the bottom of the totem pole for me. But the thing is, our actual gameplay is nothing like what it was at the start of the season. The way we move the ball, the general tempo of our play is miles behind how we started the season. The movements the players are making are nothing like what we were doing. There's no more penetrating runs and passes, and the only ones that we see now are from Bonucci, long balls. And that wasn't the case at the start of the year. At the start of the season, we had great sequences where we would move the ball outside, it would come back inside, and the forward would show, the trequartista would actually slide in behind, and Pjanic would drop it over the top, and we were creating so much confusion. That has completely stopped. And now it looks very Allegri-esque, because we were playing right in front of the opposition. There's no penetration. There's we're just building up right in front of their faces and showing them exactly what we're doing. It's so.
But the thing is that we are so, as you say, we are so predictable.
Yeah.
4-3-1-2. We are playing like a Christmas tree. We're not penetrating. We're penetrating down the middle. We have nothing going on from the flanks. And if we do, it is so freaking slow.
Yeah.
When you get the ball to Cuadrado, he always stops and then refreshes what to do, thinking about it, what to do, where to pass, and then he makes the cross. which is already too late. So everything usually goes down through the middle, and it's so tight. It's so packed in there.
Yeah.
This is why it's so difficult to open up and to create chances. This is why it's so crucial for us to have good wingbacks and good offensive play. With Sarri ball, we need to have flexibility, not just going through the middle. But right now, it's just too predictable.
And that's just it. At the start, he made the switch from 4-3-3 to 4-3-1-2 quite early on in the season. Even when we went to 4-3-1-2, we still had play. Like, it just meant the forwards moved wide. That trequartista would fill in the hole in between. The opposite forward would drop down in behind. It still made sense. It's not that you lose your wide play, but we have for quite some time now. And I've been saying it for the past, I don't even know how many matches, but every time the ball gets to the left side, there's no option. Whether it's DeCilio, today it was Sandro, there is no options for him. Like, there's not, all our play has been on the right side, and I don't know if this is something Sarri's designed. I've never noticed it on any of his other teams, but we literally only have flank play on the right, and I can't figure out for the life of me why. Because at the start, when we had our most success, we had flanks play on both sides. We could go outside, come back inside, go through the middle. We kept the opposition guessing. Now it's all gone. It's directly up the middle.
It's for me. It's very. It looks to me like it's Allegri football. He won once again. You have Alexander on the left, and you have Matuidi just in front of him. Matuidi, who is just a head case, basically headless chicken who runs around and tackles people and tackles the ball sometimes. And then you have Cristiano, who is actually starting on the left, but suddenly, as soon as he starts on the left, he just hides himself and runs into the opposition's box for the header, right? So he is not connected to Alexandro. He is not connected to anybody. So that leaves Alexandro totally alone. Yeah. So Alexandro is probably hands down the best left back in Serie A, no question about it, because the responsibility that he gets with attacking and defending for this team is astonishing. He is totally alone offensively, and, well, 7 out of 10 times he gets actually the cross in, be it good or be it bad, but he actually manages to do that. And also he manages to track back. This is amazing. This on the right flank, however, as you touched on it, it's so much easier because there you have Cuadrado, there you have Dybala, who also loves to cut inside, but he's actually not the guy who always wants to score the goal with the header because he's smart enough to know that he's a dwarf, basically. So for me, it's very simple. We are attacking through the right because we can. But this is also very simple for the opposition.
Yes.
They are going to attack from the right. So we just double up on the left. That's it. Job done. And, secure what is in the middle, because we know from the left, Juve aren't going to attack. And if they do, well, it will be maybe 1 or 2 times per game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, oh, man, it is just, it's mind-blowing. It's frustrating. The thing is, too, is for me, like, when you look back, some of these guys, I think, because it's not going to change drastically for the rest of the year. Let's get serious with the personnel we have. I think Sarri needs to take a good long look at the midfield, and he needs to have pairings that start to kind of make sense, because there has to be an offensive threat next to Pjanic, because if teams lock in on him, it cannot be 2 midfielders that have the same style of play. Yeah. So if that means Ramsey's coming out of trequartista and becoming that box-to-box because he's got creativity in and around the area, then that's something we might have to do, and then have your other defensive midfielder. Because maybe we go to a 4-3-3. I don't really know. But also, Dybala stepped in there today, and he was locked in, and I don't know, maybe we go with Dybala in this trequartista. I don't really know. Maybe that's this. I don't know.
That's the thing with Sarri. He doesn't want to do that. He's been saying it for months now. He doesn't want to play Ronaldo, Higuain, and Dybala at the same time. Yeah. So I don't know.
It's tough. I don't really understand, but he's gotta figure this out, because the personnel he has, that's kind of what he's gonna get. I don't see any drastic changes come January. Everybody can talk about all they want, and the international breaks come, and we're signing all the best players, but it's not gonna happen. These are the guys we have. He's got to sort it out. I think honestly, the next set of minutes Bernardeschi gets has to be in the midfield as one of those three, to be honest. Because he's left-footed. We are suffering on the left side of the pitch. Can't figure. You touched on it too with the guys. Let's give him a go there and see what happens. He's got the good thing about Bernardeschi. He's got the work rate. He's got the legs. Covering defensively is not something I'd be concerned about with him. I'd give it a go. He's got enough technical.
He's got Alexander behind him, so it will not be an issue.
And he's got enough technical ability that I think he only gets himself into trouble when he's in tight spaces as Trequartista. But with a little bit more space coming from Metsala there, I think he'll be okay. It's something I want to see try. But let's get... So, yeah, this game, like, it's just ugly. We all know about Delict getting brought down there. I mean, Armor Cross, that's pretty bad. I mean... I think you call it, but ultimately we still have nobody to blame for this but ourselves. It is a game we have to take. Again, this is Sassuolo. I don't care what group of players you take from Juve's roster. We gotta beat Sassuolo at home with a keeper in net for them from their Primavera. Like, let's be serious. I don't want to talk about conditions. I don't want to talk about this Delict missed call, which I do believe was a PK. It shouldn't have mattered. It shouldn't have mattered. And for everybody that wants to sit on this undefeated thing, what good is being undefeated when you're dropping points that you simply cannot afford to this season in Serie A? And so we draw the rest of the year out. Okay, great, we're undefeated, have nothing to show for it. Who cares? You have to play to your capabilities. You have to play to match the objectives you're willing or you're hoping to set for yourselves as a club. We know year in, year out our objectives. We need to finally step up and match the talk, because it's not happening. Excuse me.
I agree with totally.
Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm fighting a cold. Made it even worse to wake up at 3. Yeah, it's frustrating with this club. I mean, we have these high expectations, and
let's. I mean, I'm sorry. I gotta say, because when we started this season, we basically started with one left back, we started with 2 right backs, and we started with so many players in the midfield. Well, should be good enough, yeah. However, it was by chance that Juan Cuadrado started playing as a right back. It was not because we were fortunate enough to be smart enough to start playing him as a right back. It was because De Sciglio got injured, and then Danilo got injured, and then we started playing him because we had no other option. Things would be probably totally different if we had Cuadrado playing as a right winger now. Because then we would stick with 4-3-3 probably because of the Douglas Costa issue, because he's always injured. We would probably stick with Higuain as a center forward and putting Ronaldo on the left flank with a 4-3-3. So because of that injury to De Sciglio and Danilo, we needed to switch to Cuadrado to the right back. And as Douglas Costa was injured as well, we basically had no wingers. So this is my question also. If we are going to switch to 4-3-3, do we have the players for that? I'm not sure that we do. Because, well, yes, we do. Well, of course, if everybody keeps fit, everybody are fit every single game, but they're not. We cannot trust Douglas Costa being fit all the time. We can't trust Bernardeschi being good on the left or right flank in the 4-3-3, because we've tried him already, and it's always been inconsistent as well. So this is also an issue. How can we actually get the best out of these players, given that the key creativity is always out of action. Ramsey, out of action. Douglas Costa, out of action. Ronaldo, missing in action. So this is what he's got. He has to do best with what he... By now, it looks to me it's like a 4-3-1-2 because we have no other option right now.
Yeah, I mean, the only way logically we can get to a 4-3-3 is bringing Pellegrini back. To have the left back up, using De Chilio and Danilo as right backs, and then pushing Cuadrado up as a forward, and then hopefully Douglas Costa can actually stay healthy for more than 20 minutes of play, which is just getting ridiculous. But yeah, and that's obviously something that was touched on heavily at the start of the season. I said, why are we going into a season with 3 fullbacks? Like, it's crazy to me. But I'm talking more about the general attitude and demeanor of the players, because the players we do have, because they know the objectives, they know what it is, but we don't show that until we have it. Why do we have to be in adverse situations before that comes out of us? The urgency, the tempo, the play. Like, why can't we just say, okay, here's Sassuolo coming in. Oh, great. They got a Primavera keeper in. Like, I'd be licking my chops and like, let's take it to them. Like, let's rack it up. Like, let's go. But instead, we get this mush, just this blah from all the guys out there, and it's just like, really, guys? Like, let's go. Pick it. I don't care that you played a Champions League match against Atletico on Tuesday. It's like, it's Sunday. Let's go. Pick it up. Like, that's part of the gig. And these guys have been doing it for a long time.
Are we questioning the leadership in the team now? Are we questioning that Leonardo Bonucci isn't that kind of a leader that can kick ass and criticize openly? Like, stop it. Get your head together. I mean, wake up. Or is it just because this today was very easy to see. It was collective meltdown. Yeah. Every single player out there who's supposed to be great, De Ligt, one of his best games, 2 in a row against Atletico and Atalanta. Never seen him better. Right now, stinker.
Yeah.
Very, very bad. Why? I don't know. Same with Bonucci. Stinker. Why? It's a collective meltdown. And this is where we have 2 guys. We have Gigi Buffon, who is, well, we all know he is Capitano. Leonardo Bonucci, he is the captain this season because of Chiellini is injured. Where is the leadership? Yes, we are nice guys. Yes, we are role models. Yes, we hug each other and so on and so on. But stick it. I mean, get criticizing. Wake up. And when this is not happening, I don't know.
Yeah.
Nothing will.
And it stands out, like, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Dybala steps on the pitch, and it changes because he has that drive. He was just right from the second he stepped on the pitch, and that's what we need. And nobody else had that. Nobody else on the pitch had that. Higuain, maybe. Higuain a bit. I thought Higuain was very involved. But that's it. Like, Chiellini, last season, well, honestly, anytime Chiellini's on the pitch, when things aren't going well, the second he gets that ball, it's like, boom, he finds somebody, and you can feel it in the pass. You could just, like, even watching it on TV, you could feel it in that pass. Like, he's drilling it to the guy to, like, let's go. Like, hurry up. Everything's done with, like, just a quick responsiveness, and that urgency's felt. And nobody had it today, and it's a shame. And these are drop points that are just, for me, inexcusable. Like, it's a terrible, terrible set of dropped points.
Do you remember when we played that famous Atletico game at the J Stadium when Ronaldo scored his first, I believe, at the second leg, and as soon as he scored, he went like, "Come on, guys! Like, root for us! I mean, we're gonna win this. We're gonna do this together." He pumped the whole stadium up.
Yeah.
Today at 2-2, it was like, I mean, it was so casual.
Yeah.
It was just, I'm just doing this. Like, I don't even care. And so there was no connection between the fans and the team. It was just like another day of football. For them, it was just, I mean, I get that they probably are frustrated, of course, but it was just not the same level. They never wanted this the same level as they wanted the Atletico victory. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And that also shows me the Ronaldo effect. I mean, he really wanted that victory against Simeone to stick it to him. Right now, it's just like another day at the office.
Yeah, and that's another reason you could justify sitting them out. That's not good enough. It shouldn't be accepted anywhere, let alone Juventus. Like, that's what I mean when they gotta take a solid look in the mirrors. And Sarri's gonna fucking ask himself seriously, like, a lot of questions. Like, has Sarri changed because of Juve? Like, is Sarri not the same Sarri because of the expectations? Is that affecting him from being who he usually is?
Well, the thing is with him, I think that we are constantly reminding ourselves of his time with Napoli. We're thinking back to his Napoli days and thinking that, this is what we want to be like, but with better players. Then he went to Chelsea, and it was just okay. He won the Europa League, I believe, but it was with different players. It was a different setup, but it was never the same Napoli style. It was just different. So we are sitting here and waiting for this Sarri ball, for this tiki-taka play, for the amazing stuff from Napoli days. I think we just need to sit down and admit that this is not gonna happen. This will be a different type of football. This will be something different with different players. We will never play as Napoli did with Cristiano on the pitch, with Khedira on the pitch, with Matuidi on the pitch. Matuidi is not good enough as Alan is. Let's face it. Totally different players. So I think this is an unknown territory for us. We don't know where we are, and we don't know who we trust right now, because Sarri did good with Napoli and Chelsea, but what is his deal actually? What is he gonna do with the team? And I'm not sure that he knows even. He has some ideas, yes, but he has so many strong characters in the team, like Cristiano. So it's tough for him to sit him out. And that's another question. Remember his discussion, or his role with the keeper from Chelsea, who refused to go out.
Yeah.
The same issue here with Cristiano. Is he too big of a character for Sarri to handle? Does he simply play him because to keep the fans happy, to keep the media happy, to keep the storm away, for the sake of points, for the sake of play, for the sake of transition, for the sake of progress? Just play him and we'll be fine. He scored today, so everything is okay. He gets his millions, that's fine. So I'm not sure where we are and where we want to be. We saw flashes of it, as you said, earlier this season with Douglas Costa, with guys like Pjanic sending the ball to Trequartista, who was moving, who was active. Right now it's just disappeared, because I'm not so sure what he's going to do when things are changing. When people are declining, when Douglas Costa is injured, when people are not in form. I mean, we had Danilo in there. We were all ranting, why do we sell Cancelo? Why do we getting rid of this? He was probably the best right back in Serie A last season. Why? He's probably the best technical player out there. We sold him. Now we have Cuadrado. Nobody even talks about Cancelo. He barely plays for City.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. We just don't know where we are. We are finding things as we go along. We are not supposed to play with Cuadrado. This was just only luck. We were supposed to play with Mattia Di Sciglio. And that's crazy.
Yeah.
That was our lineup. And that's just by luck. Started with Cuadrado. So it's difficult for Sarri, yes, because everything needs to be from he needs to create it again and again and again, because people get injured all the time. Of course, but then again, you have so many good players. You should be good enough to beat this team today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Boga guy, I gotta say, this Boga guy for Sassuolo, the best player out there. Berardi wasn't there. Consigli didn't play. Was Primavera keeper, as you said. You know, if you just take a look at this team, and you know, Locatelli, Magnanelli, and Boga, and Traoré. Those are 4 players that you need to be extra careful of. That's it. And Caputo, I don't know, once in a while you should be aware of. That's it. Yeah. And that's also my point. Like, do we do any research of our opponents, how they play, who is their best player? Do we care extra about these guys? I don't know. It's tough, but it was clearly to see that Boga, he schooled Gigi Buffon there for the first goal, and nobody even marked him. It's poor.
It was all just shocking. The entire thing was just shocking. But Sarri, like, getting back to, like, even Sarri, it's like, this is the part that's starting to kind of concern me with him, is the fact that we know, everybody can watch and see, Bernardeschi should not be trequartista. We're struggling with our play. Why, like, where are the adjustments? Where are the changes? Like, it's going to be up to him. He says all the right things in these interviews, but we're not actually seeing it. We're not actually seeing it backed up. And it's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating. It's starting to be concerning because, you know, we can see he talks about what he wants to do, what he wants to accomplish with the passing game. He talks about the tempo. He talks about the urgency. We don't have any of that. We haven't had that for many matches now. But he's not doing anything to change that. It's literally just the same plug and play. Like, lineups, like, there's no adjustments, there's no changes, there's nothing. It's just plug and play. It's, here you go. It's cookie cutter. And is starting to become a little alarming. Because it's like, sorry, like, when are you going to make the changes? We're going to have the Champions League draw coming up middle of December, going into knockouts. Like, well, let's get to some of these questions after this match. One of them is, who do you start right now, our best 11 in a 4-3-1-2? Like, what do you do right now?
Well, let's say we play 4-3-1-2. Let's say we do that, because that looks like that's what we're gonna do. Well, very simple actually. It would be Wojciech Szczesny in goal for sure, because I really believe that he is something great coming there. I think he will be just better and better with every season. I saw the rumors about Donnarumma the other day. Come on, are we serious? How dare you? Seriously, how dare you to link this teenager? I don't know if he is still a teenager, but how dare you? Just because there is an international break, you just need to send out some rumor about Donnarumma to Juve.
That was like 2 days after the Szczesny contract extension was set to come out, which he deserves. Yeah. He's highly
for sure.
He's grossly underrated.
Yeah, for sure. So no doubt it would be Wojciech Szczesny in goal. It would be Alexander on the left because we don't have anybody else. It will be Bonucci and De Ligt. I don't know where Demiral is in this equation. I will not start talking about it, but I would say this: there must be a reason. There must be a reason why he isn't starting. He's only played like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah.
But he plays for Turkey. I mean, there must be a reason. Why? I don't know. I don't want to speculate. Rugani is still in there. He will probably be sold January. Okay for me, because we just need to let him go and let him play consistently for his own sake and for his girlfriend's sake as well. For sure. And on the right back, well, I don't know. This one is a tough one because Cuadrado has been good at right back, but when De Sciglio is fit, he is a safer choice defensively. Danilo is a wild card. It could be great. It could be very bad.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I want to trust a Brazilian at the right back who cannot defend. That is just very alarming to me. So, safer choice defensively, De Sciglio. Overall, Cuadrado, just because he has been that good surprisingly enough for everybody. Going forward, yeah, it's gonna be Miralem. It's gonna be Miralem in the hole, provided he has great enough players next to him. And I'm not sure who that other player would be. I would put Bentancur next to him because I think he has potential. I think he has the drive. I think he has the will. He has the technique to cope with the pressure, to cope with, assisting, complementing Pjanic in what he does. That would be safer choice for me rather than playing Kedira, who is just a safe, boring, unproductive player who gets his salary for doing basically nothing. And next to him, I don't know. We have Emre Can, who will probably be off this winter. We have left. Well, it is Federico Bernardeschi and Matuidi, and that's it. I mean, we have Adrien Rabiot. Still, he's injured out there. I'm not sure how good he is because we've only seen flashes. I don't want to start him with the starting 11. I would keep him on the bench. Probably it would be Matuidi just to be on the safe side there. But then we lack creativity. We lack a direct attacking play from the left, as we touched on it. So yeah, I have to say I would agree with you playing, at least trying, with Bernardeschi. But then again, is it too offensive? Right? Is it too offensive with both Bentancur and Bernardeschi and Miralem Pjanic? I don't know. Maybe Matuidi is a safer choice. Going forward, in the trequartista role, I don't know. Ramsey from the first until the 60th minute, and then subbing him off and putting in Bernardeschi, because I think Bernardeschi is a much better player coming off the bench rather than playing from the start. Just because of as you said, just because of his legs. He has the legs for it. He has the runs. He has the drive to kill it off when the opposition is on the most tired. And controversial, but I would bench Cristiano. Right now, I would do that, yeah. Because the link-up between Dybala and Higuain, we saw the Atalanta game. We know what those two guys can do. We know that those two speak the same language. They've played a lot. Higuain is totally a different player to Dybala. Dybala can hide himself, but Higuain is like a really strong character out there. So those two complement each other very well. Cristiano is just too stationary for me. I'm sorry. He cannot play well with anybody in this team, it seems to me. There is no link-up play. It was some flashes with him and Bernardeschi last season, I believe. And then everybody started talking about the brohood. I mean, romance between those two. I mean, calm down. It's non-existent. There is no connection whatsoever. And that's also a thing that we might discuss. Does he has any connection with anybody? I don't think so. It's Cristiano out there all by himself.
It's a different feel this season than it was last with him. Yeah, I think that was a short honeymoon. Let's put it that way. Phase is over.
So that's the lineup, and of course, if we have Douglas Costa available, I would still not start him because I'm too freaking afraid of him being injured and our game plan out of the window. Because when Douglas Costa plays, the gameplay needs to be using him as much as possible. Because when he is on his best, he is insane. So the gameplay must include Douglas if he's on the pitch. If not, well, better just keep him on the bench and then sub him on.
Yeah. For me, in a 4-3-1-2, the next match we had an opportunity to do it because I wouldn't do it against a strong side, but the next opportunistic match we had, I would put Quadrado on the right in defense. I'd go Bonucci, De Ligt, Szczesny's in goal, Sandro on the left. I would put Bernardeschi in that left midfield role. I'd put Pjanic there, and I would put Bentancur there. And I think if you just defined the roles based on the play, where the ball is, how we line up, Bernardeschi and Bentancur are both fully capable of playing box-to-box style and providing that coverage and defense as well. It's got to be Ramsey in the hole, and it's got to be Dybala and Higuain up top. And that's what I would go with. And Bernardeschi has to be given a chance, I think, there, because
But
I don't know.
that's not because he's good. That's the question. That's also the thing. In my opinion, we are, at least I'm not giving him the chance to start for this Juve, not because he's good, but because we don't have any other option. At this point, we don't have any other option.
I'm saying that because I feel he's got characteristics and abilities that could work there. They're not working as trequartista, but he's got quite a bit of abilities that could help him in that role, and it might be better for him. I think he's great. Honestly, like I think he'd be okay as a right winger, strictly a right winger. He could be a great sub coming into a game on the right wing, but this is the 4-3-1-2. If we played a 4-3-3, I think, him coming in, being the change-up for like Douglas Costa, if he could ever stay healthy, that's a great 1-2 coming from the wing. The problem then becomes, then you got Higuain, Dybala, Ronaldo operating on two spots. Ronaldo only plays on the left. We've seen him up front. It's not working. And on the left is not really working either, but it creates a little bit of issues. I think the 4-3-1-2, that was part of Sarri's thing. It seems to be able to get him those guys that he wants on the pitch more often than not, based on the guys we have, and that's why he's done it. But this is, and the whole discussion we started here is coming from a question from Eric on Twitter, and it goes, who would your starters be in a 4-3-1-2? Would you change it to a 4-3-3? You kind of touched on it. Do we have the guys right now? We wouldn't have enough coverage at the fullback position. So it's really hard to say, let's go into a 4-3-3 because, well, what are you going to do there? Then we're going to put Bernardeschi back on the wing. We ran into an issue with Dybala all last year trying to play off the wing, and it wasn't happening. And we haven't even established this new system enough to even know whether the 4-3-3 or the 4-3-1-2 is better. At the start of the year, we were basing it off that. And the 4-3-1-2, we were able to create almost double the amount of chances as when we played the 4-3-3. But maybe we pulled away from the 4-3-3 a little too soon because of the injuries and whatnot. It's tough to say, right? But I don't know. Would I change it to a 4-3-3 right now? No, because I see so many other issues that need to be fixed first that I think are a problem over and above the actual lineup formation.
The rumors about William and Pedro coming from Chelsea to Juve, I don't know if you guys saw this the other day. The players themselves, okay, I don't agree with the players' choice, but however, the characteristics of the players really kind of confirms that we would rather play with a 4-3-3 because Pedro is a winger, William is a winger, prime wingers. I mean, not quality, but this is who they are.
Yeah.
And Federico Chiesa, winger, also. So maybe these smart-ass journalists are thinking that Juve are better off with playing 4-3-3 because this is what Sarri did with Napoli. Maybe, but right now, as you say, we don't have enough coverage. If everybody is fit, maybe, but nobody's ever fit. Especially thinking about the left back situation. Why did we ship off Pellegrini? No idea. So yeah, it's tough. So 4-3-2-1-2 is probably the place to be right now.
Yeah. The remainder of the question from Eric, is our lack of success due to tactics, formations, or both? I don't... honestly, I'm so concerned, again, going back to the mentality and just the actual approach that I see. And when you get a performance like this today in front of your home crowd against a team you should easily handle, and you look like you have better places to be, it's pretty alarming. Like, there's let's be honest here, like, tactics and formations, The
No matter
formation.
how you
The
play, no
formation.
matter how you feel this team, it should be good enough to win against a solo, plain and simple.
The
So,
formation
yeah,
itself, you can line up a formation. I don't care how you line it up, 4-3-3, 4-3-1-2, whatever. Eventually, players build a chemistry with one another, and they start to learn what each other do, and it starts to just come together. And the way you draw it up on a sheet or just post it, and everybody wants to look at that pregame, isn't always necessarily how it plays out based on the guys that are out there. Right now, this team, other than a couple guys, there's not a whole hell of a lot of chemistry being built. And we're getting into a situation where Sarri, and this is why I was questioning, is Sarri being affected by the expectations of being at Juve, because he is doing the exact same thing Allegri was doing, which is a hell of a lot of rotation, which he's not known for. Everybody knows Sarri picks his 11. You probably get one or two other guys that he'll mix in once in a while, and that's what you get. We're not getting that. We're getting the opposite. We're getting this bizarro world, Sarri, where he is just plugging guys here and there.
Exactly, yes.
And
that's my point also, because we don't know where we are with Sarri now.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know where he is because he started rotating players.
Yeah. And how on earth are we going to figure out what our best for the players? We're getting into December now, and there's still a lot of guys that just lack chemistry with one another, and you could see it. It's broken play. Are we overtraining our guys? That's another thing. We look tired. We look tired more often than not. We're not the only team playing in Champions League, but it's just we always look tired from the get-go. It takes these adverse situations when we're faced with adversity. We're about to lose at Sassuolo at home, and then all of a sudden we pick it up. And it's just, it's crazy. And that's why when these guys attack Sarri and say, well, you got to play Dybala from the start. You got to play... That mentality needs to be instilled in every single one of the players, and they need to all be performing at that level. It shouldn't matter who it is. It should be uniform across the whole lineup, across the board. If you're in there, you're giving it 150%, and that's it. And Sarri needs to start acting accordingly to get that out of those guys. Because right now, honestly, like, how many guys would you say deserve their starting spots on our club right now? I'd probably say you have 4, maybe, based on performance. You have 4 or 5 that deserve their starting spot. We're not going to factor in keepers, obviously, because we've got the one for number 1, which is Szczesny, but across the other guys, that's half the lineup. That's only half the lineup. If we count that 5th, that's only half the lineup that have actually earned that starting role based on performances. Think about that.
I wouldn't say that many even. I would say it's just by chance that players are getting picked up because we don't have anybody else. Like Alexander can be, he can suck as much as he wants. He will still start because we don't have any option. De Ligt and Bonucci can still start because they are so good. And if they have, like today, after today's performance, I wouldn't be surprised if we had quality. If Chiellini was fit and ready to play, probably one of Bonucci or De Ligt would be on the bench against Lazio next weekend.
Bonucci hasn't missed a match this season. He's played every single match, and it's starting to show.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I was afraid of. I was afraid of that. It's going as well as Pjanic. I mean, Pjanic is playing almost every single game.
Yeah.
And he also himself...
He said he's tired.
During the week. Yeah, I'm tired now, he said. Come on, man, you're starting another game. So, the thing is that we are making it too comfortable, too easy for the guys to start. For the guys who are actually playing there. I mean, Ronaldo, he can play as badly as he wants. He will still start. That's a frustrating thing. You have Pjanic, of course, yes. He can play as badly as he likes, but he will still start because he is our link-up between everything that is going on. Huge responsibility for the guy. Too much, maybe. So where are the other players? Are we complimenting? Are we helping him out? I don't see it. I don't see the chemistry. I don't see the chemistry between him, Matuidi, Khedira, maybe Bentancur, but I don't know.
Yeah. So to answer Eric's question, is it lack of success due to tactics, formations, or both? I think there's honestly a deeper line issue, and it's again, lack of competition for spots, which I guess would come down to personnel quality, what we have and options, and ultimately shooting ourselves in the foot in mercados too. Some of those moves we make are coming back to bite us, and sometimes the old adage of you get what you pay for comes into effect. So we love these free transfers and everything like that, but sometimes you just get what you pay for. And
I would love to see Mario Mandzukic in there, what he would done, what he would contribute with this season. I don't know what the issue is there. I don't know why he is frozen out because of maybe saying no to other clubs or so on. It has to be something very serious. It is very strange.
The thing that gets me is, you touched on it earlier, we've talked about it. There's guys in our lineup currently that don't suit Sarri ball that are getting minutes. And Mario Mandzukic, we can't even get a look at him in this formation, the 4-3-1-2, and playing under Sarri. We can't even get a glimpse of it. It's very odd. It's very, very odd. But yeah, see what ends up happening. Well, it sounds like it's going to come to an end pretty quick here in January, but it's strange. Our good friend Graham sends in a question about Buffon. What are our thoughts on Buffon? Should Buffon start again in Serie A, or is it time to relegate him to Coppa Italia duties? Looked very old today.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it almost happened to Sassuolo's keeper as well. The same thing. He goes down for a low shot, it skipped and bobbled, almost rolled in for us. You know what? Honestly, on the first goal, why was that guy all alone? Let's be serious here.
Yeah.
So you're still asking your keeper to make a point blank save. Come on. The other one, yeah, it was really bad, but I'm not gonna put this loss on Gigi, or the draw that feels like a loss. Sorry, I'm not gonna put that on Gigi. And should he be relegated to just Coppa Italia? I don't think so. I think let's keep Szczesny some breaks here and there. Buffon, let's be serious. He's still the best backup you could probably ask for, and everything that he gives us in the dressing room. No, for me, I'm not really worried about it.
I'm not sure that it is that we relegate him to the Coppa Italia. Coppa Italia is actually an important games for us also. So he will still be playing those games, and we will still rant about his mistakes. He will, if he were going to do those mistakes in Coppa Italia. So it doesn't change the fact that he is our backup player. But today, it was, as you said, it was the same thing happened with the Primavera goalkeeper also. And the whole thing started with the Cuadrado pass.
Yeah.
The whole thing started with him, and then De Ligt just, I don't know, meltdowning it straight into the solo player, and that's it.
It was just ugly.
Unlucky.
Just
that's
ugly.
it. Yeah. So, no, I think we should keep the way things are.
Yeah. So that's really it for question. Another one about just more a comment about a fan putting this draw on Gigi. Yes, the other made mistakes, but it was a very saveable shot and he fluffed it. Bernardeschi is either short on confidence or just not a great footballer. Either way, he shouldn't play Trequartista. Sarri needs to sign his choice of midfielders, and then we judge him. How do you feel about that last part with Sarri? We need to wait for him to sign his midfielders before we can actually judge him?
Well, yes. We have no midfielder out there, well, apart from maybe Pjanic and Bentancur, are fit to Sarri play the way we want it to be. However, do we need to... is this a transition season? Because I don't think that it is. Nedved even himself said that this is not a transition season. This is the season where we will continue winning, continue playing good football, playing good football with Allegri was a bit tough, but yeah, it is like we judging him by the base of play. No matter, you have the best, arguably, this team that you have right now is better than the Napoli team, player by player, is better than the Chelsea team that he had. This is the best team he has ever managed, let's face it. So I will judge him by how he fills that play. And if his football is too complicated, if his football is too hard to understand for these players, then it's up to the players and not him. Because it's not difficult to pass the ball, really. You just need to do it. You're doing this every single day, seven days a week probably. So why don't you do it at home against Sassuolo? It baffles me. So for me, it's yes, I would give him probably the benefit of the doubt regarding the midfielders, because we don't have the midfielders that are good enough to link it up. But I mean, I will still judge him.
Yeah, I think we have to. I mean, ultimately, he's been hired for a job. We have to judge him based on. Again, everybody's got to remember, the coach's job is to get the best out of the personnel you have. That's his job. Okay? As you go along, sure, he'll be involved in mercados and bringing in guys he needs, he wants. But still, ultimately, when I watch this team, I think to myself, Sami Khedira, I think to myself, why has he started so many matches this season? Bernardeschi, why is he in a trequartista role again? These questions come up, and we have to judge Sarri on that. There's other options. We've talked about the other possibilities that he could have been trying. We discussed them all already on this in an hour. We discussed all these different scenarios, possibilities, things we could do, we could try. Why are we not trying them? It's the coach's job. So, yeah, I'm going to judge him. It's crazy to me. Oh, man. So we have this. We dropped these points. Merda won against Spal. And for any of you who were crazy enough to actually try and think that Spal would get some kind of result there, don't do that. Don't count on that. Don't bank on that, please. No. But there's a lot of fans that are just going off the deep end already, and now we're 1 point behind. It's only 1 point. I'm not terribly concerned right now that Merda's 1 point ahead. My concern is, how are we going to find the play that we're looking for, that Sarri's looking for, without making the necessary changes? And
without dropping points.
Sorry?
Without dropping points.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not only that, but without him having the balls to make a move that needs to be made. We all know who I'm talking about. And, I think he avoided it the match previous, when Dybala should have never left that pitch. Easily our best player. He avoided it, and I think solely to do the man a favor and avoid the shitstorm the media would have caused. And if you can't play him in a match against Sassuolo to get some confidence back up in him and get him going again,
I can tell you right now the formation or the starting lineup will be against Lazio, and it will be Ronaldo, and it will be it will probably Dybala from the start, and not based off quality. That's another thing, yeah, right? We touched on it previously. It's not based on quality, it's not based on performance. But Cristiano Ronaldo issue is because he has to. It looks to me like it to keep people happy, to keep the club, the management, the media, whatever, happy. He makes it easy, short term, but long term, I mean, we are dropping points like today. We are playing bad. Yes, we only have, in hindsight, I mean, we have 3 draws and the rest are victories. So we haven't lost. We are the only team that is unbeaten. And so by the stats, by the looks at the table, we are good to go. We are A-okay. But if you look deeper into this, I mean, it's 1-2 victories. It's 1-0. It struggles against Atalanta. Only last 15 minutes we were better. We barely win against Atletico at home. We should have beat them much more. I mean, we have issues, yeah, but we make it simple for us to start with Cristiano, and that's it. So yeah, it's tough decisions need to be made, but I don't think that he has the balls to do that.
Yeah, it's tough. Maybe there's some stipulations in contracts too that are handcuffing him. But sorry for me, like when he subbed off Ronaldo the first time, do you remember what was going through your mind at that time?
I remember very well because I was thinking, oh, here come the media. It's like I was ready. I was ready with my phone. I was ready. I was refreshing my Twitter feed because I was waiting for something to happen because now the discussion is there a chemistry problem or something.
But it was the right move.
Sure, I was happy it happened.
Exactly.
I was glad because finally he sees what we saw for the months from the start of the season. Cristiano Ronaldo isn't good enough. Plain and simple.
And it was the right move. And here the media is run amok with it, but it is what it is. And now he's in a situation where even just as a rotation, it's always going to spur on this storm. You know what I mean? And this wave. And it's... I'm not sure Sarri's going to be able to handle that properly and make the right decisions.
I get most probably after this is aired and people watching this or listening to this, they will call me a Ronaldo hater. First and foremost, just a second. I got this not because I wanted to, but because I was glad. I was so freaking happy that this happened. We signed the greatest player of all time. He was at the freaking J Stadium. He was at the J Medical singing Juve, Juve. He was freaking ready to play for us. I was happy. Yeah. Now, probably people will call me a Cristiano Ronaldo hater, but the thing is that he is a player. He is not a superhuman. If he's not good enough, he's not good enough. That's it, plain and simple. We need to address the issue. He is on the decline. That's it. If he is no injury, and he is on the decline, and there is nothing that says that he admits it. He doesn't admit that he is getting. I mean, the age or the football is caught up with him. He's just too arrogant. He's thinking only about Cristiano. He's thinking only about the stats because at the end of the day, 100 years from now, the only thing that we'll remember him by are the stats, are the numbers. So if this is what he's worried about, then he's just too arrogant, putting himself in front of the club, ahead of the club. Putting himself ahead for the national team. The national team, he bangs in the goals. He wants that 100th goal. He will probably get it for sure. He will go into the history books. He will go into the history books for Juve as well. But for the sake of 3 points, for the sake of the team, for the sake of winning the Scudetto for the team, it's only about Cristiano and his training levels. The comments from Patrice Evra about his lunch. I don't know if you heard about it. Yeah. If you go to the Cristiano house, you never go to lunch because he would just make you work out like crazy. His fitness levels, his body, his fat, his so low fat percent. I mean, he's crazy. He's an insane human being, yes. But when it's time to say enough is enough, when it's time to say, Cristiano, you're not good enough, who is gonna say it? Who is gonna admit it? If he's so delusional, somebody has to tell him, Cristiano, I'm sorry, you're sitting out next game because you're not good enough. And the question is, will Sarri do that? Does he have the balls to do that? And what will happen next if he hears that? If Cristiano hears that he is not good enough to start, plain and simple, what will happen? That's the real question.
Yeah. The other thing is too, I mean, you sub this guy off, and then to leave the stadium.
Yeah, that's not professional, man.
And then to now have this bullshit that has to come up, the other players have to witness. It just, man, it's not fair to any of the other players. I'm curious if he's created a wedge maybe with some of the guys, because it's not right. You don't do something like that. And obviously Chiellini talked about him putting a phone call into the team. I think it was a few days later or whatnot, but it doesn't matter. The fact is, you did this. You put yourself above everybody else there, and just like we can see it, all the other players can see it. He's losing the ball constantly. He's just playing poorly. They can all see that. So to put yourself up here when your performance is way down here and act as if, you're better than everybody here, you're above this club, is just garbage. It's the whole thing that these are the kind of things that destroy clubs. They destroy teams. You can't have that kind of stuff happening. And now we have this here, and I don't know if Sarri can handle it. He's never dealt with an ego like this. And I don't know if he can handle it, but it's a worrying thing because of the lack of chemistry that we show already on the pitch and playing, and to throw this little thing into it, it's got a lot of. It's just like I said, it's got some warning signs to it, and the honeymoon with Cristiano is over. I got the kits too. You showed up your kit. Everybody was happy, ecstatic. You have to be. If you get the opportunity to sign Cristiano Ronaldo, you have to take it. But the honeymoon's over, and now we're starting to see a side of him we saw nothing of last season. And yeah, it's worrying. I'm more worried about this scenario and Sarri being able to adjust it way more than a lot of fans right now are worried about a 1-point deficit to Merida. We have in-house issues we need to sort out: our play, our style, our approach, our mentality, our fitness, and then this drama. That needs to be sorted. I really don't want to start thinking about or watching what Merida does. I could care less. And 1 point, I'm not worried about that. We have to sort it out. We have to sort it out now, though, because the undefeated thing means nothing if they're draws to teams that you should be crushing. And a lot of our wins, like you touched on, we've been our scrappy wins in games that we should be dominating, controlling. The stats in this one against Sassuolo show otherwise, that we dominated, but it really didn't give that feel, and watching it was anything but. But yeah, here we are. We're 1 point behind. We've got Lazio coming up next weekend on the 7th, away, and they are playing some good ball right now.
Ciro Immobile got 15, 16 goals already. Cristiano 6.
Yeah, and honestly, let's wait and see what happens. For me, Ronaldo, you would not be a part of that one. That's just me. And I'm going to take some. I don't even care. I'm being honest. He wouldn't. I would go with Dybala and Higuain in that match to start. But that's just me. Roman, thank you so much for being a guest, man. It's always a pleasure. Is there anything you want to touch on before we get going here?
Nothing really, because we already touched on everything.
Yeah.
It's just onwards and upwards, I guess. We have to still get behind this team and support them like ever. And it really tough. It really is tough when we see no change, no progress.
And that's it.
and that's it. That's same old, same old. And if Cristiano starts next game, it will be like we will judge him like any other player, and no sugarcoating
Yeah,
whatsoever.
absolutely.
So
And that's the way it should be. I've said that many times on this podcast. I don't hold back whether you're Cristiano Ronaldo or you're Mattia De Sciglio. I really don't care. If it's not cutting it, it's not cutting it. And yeah, it's something that I would have never expected. I would have never expected to be saying the things that we're saying about Cristiano, but it's the truth. And it's undeniable. You could see it. It's right there in front of all of us. I hope he sorts it out. I would never bet against him, so I'm hoping that come crunch time, he's he's got his shit in line. But right now, it's really tough to bank on it, and we got many other things that we got to sort out. We can't get into this results thing where we just look at the numbers and everything. It's comes down to the play, because when you get tough into these tough matchups, especially Champions League knockouts and stuff, that's all it really comes down to. And if you're going to try to grind out results against some of these teams, not playing your best, that's not the way you want to approach that tournament.
Yeah, the final thing I want to say is that next 5 games, Inter apparently have some crucial, tough games ahead.
Yeah.
And some Juve fan tweeted the 5 next games for Inter and next 5 games for Juve. And I'll say this: it doesn't matter who we face. We saw that today. It doesn't matter who we face. We will struggle. We will make it difficult for ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's time to put that away. I don't care who Inter will face. It's their problem, their issues. Lukaku looks like a totally different player come last season. I don't care, because we are Juve. We are basically, we should win this year as well. But right now we're just making it too hard for ourselves because we're just lacking in quality, tactically. And no matter who we face, it will be a struggle. So it's time to change it up.
Yeah, and that's just it. You hit the nail on the head, and we've said it so many times. Juve is Juve's worst enemy.
It always will be.
Let's look no further than ourselves, because if we are making it hard for ourselves. There's no doubt. And today, perfect example. Points drop should have never been dropped. We've got to sort it out sooner rather than later. All we could do is what we do, I guess, when I'm sick and under the weather, wake up at 3:30 a.m. and watch this and go from there. But onwards and upwards, I guess. Let's see what happens against Lazio, because apparently Juve cranks it up against tougher opposition.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
We will see. Roman, thank you again for joining me. Always a pleasure.
Sure. Anytime.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll be back after the Lazio-Juve match, and I'll have another special guest with me. Till then, Forza Juve and Fino alla fine, I guess.
Fino alla fine, yeah, for sure.
Let's go. Ciao.